Hello and welcome back to Hanksy Panksy Honor Among Reeves, a podcast where two dumb idiot best friends absconded with Tom Hanks, purloined Dwayne Johnson, and are about to be absolutely mugged by Keanu Reeves. I'm Sam Siegel, and I'm stealing your special blue diamonds.
And I'm Luke Patrick, and I'm dead in the shed.
Oh, I hate to hear that, man.
Yeah, I liked the big dramatic pause there as you took a huge sip of water.
Mm-hmm.
It made for a really cool dramatic effect. Um, but yeah, no, I'm dead in the shed. I'm
Ah,
outside of your brother-in-law's property. It's kind of unclear where that shed was.
yeah. Yeah. How did you die?
How did this says a lot about the movie that
Mm-hmm.
I think I got shot, but for the sake of humor, let's say I lost a poker game with a bear because he
Ah.
caught me cheating.
So was it just you and the bear, or were there like a couple dogs in there too?
There was a possum. I think there's
Possum?
possums in Russia.
You know.
A couple moose and this
Okay.
big burly son of a bitch bear.
And you tried
And
cheating in that crowd?
I tried counting cards on this motherfucker.
Look, you can't do
And
that.
he stood up and said, I stopped hibernating just to play in this game because it
Hmm.
sounded like I could really sweep. And you've been taking me to the cleaners with your card counting all night.
That is a real verbose bear.
Yeah, this bear had quite a vocabulary. It did cuss a lot.
You could almost say that he was bear bose. Is that anything?
I it's a dad joke.
Okay. So
So
so that is nothing.
yeah, I'm trying to make it into something and I got nothing for you. So
Yeah.
I think there's not much goof juice to squeeze out of that particular lemon.
No, probably not.
Yeah.
Um Obviously we watched 2018's Siberia, which Luke, so it's always fun to tell when I'm holding my son and trying to write in my notebook and when I'm not.
Yeah.
Because if you look here, um, it looks like I wrote Cyberig,
It does look like you wrote Cyberig.
and then right here is nonsense.
Yeah, it looks like Freonimal.
Mm-hmm. It is Freebie,
Oh,
which we'll get to that, but yeah, it's hard writing in a notebook while your baby's there.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently. Because your freebie looks like so you know how in stuff like The Terror or whatever, like some sea captain is like writing the final page of a log and then it like dies because
Yeah,
something happens to him. So he's writing like God help us all.
like in the Mines of Moria
Yeah,
and the Fellowship of the
exactly.
Ring, where I
Yeah.
believe it was Ori who
Mm-hmm.
was writing in the oh fuck, I used to remember the name of the book that he was
Oh,
writing in. Um, I have since forgotten it.
how
But
dare you?
down in Casa Doom.
Yeah.
So
That was hey, if you're looking for me to judge your level of LOTOR knowledge, that ain't gonna happen.
no,
This is
honestly, I just love that you and I have two touchstones. Yours is
Mhm.
the terror, which you have referenced, I think, more times than we've talked about fucking Dwayne Johnson at this point. And mine is Lord of the Rings, apparently.
I will say this about the terror
Hmm.
versus Dwayne Johnson.
Less
Could I
problematic.
less problematic? Could I tell you the plot of San Andreas? No, I could not.
That's one
Um,
of the easier ones.
yeah, okay. Well, what about what was that jungle movie with what's his
Jungle
face?
Cruise?
No, no, not Jungle Cruise. The one we
Jumanji?
watched. No, he's done a lot of jungle movies.
The
The one,
Rundown?
the rundown, the one we watched like early on,
with with the
um,
hated Sean William Scott.
with Sean William Scott. Could I tell you the plot of that one? Not really.
Mm-mm.
But I could definitely tell you the plot of The Terror. So I
Yeah.
guess that sort of speaks volumes. God, Dwayne the Rock Johnson's done a lot of jungle themed shit,
He's done
hadn't
a
he?
lot of jungle themed stuff, and I think it's about time that we talk about it.
Okay.
We're in a weird spot with Dwayne.
Yeah.
Because Vince McMahon is a terrible bastard man who did terrible bastard man crimes
Yep.
for decades. And the WWE has sort of thrown Dwayne out there to try to
Mm-hmm.
soak up some of the media spotlight on the WWE.
Yeah.
And he seems pretty willing to do it.
Yeah.
And it's putting us in a weird spot.
Yeah. I mean, he
Um,
hasn't even like said come out of the woodwork to like condemn anything, has he?
no, and like I did read something a while back about how a lot of wrestlers um have like it's almost like Stockholm syndrome in that
Mm,
like all their successes they attribute to Vince McMahon
yeah.
because he had so much control over their careers. And it's not like they, like it is obviously due to their own personal talent and, like both like star power and, physical prowess.
Absolutely.
But they always attribute it to Vince McMahon. And so maybe that's why Dwayne is not coming out and being like, "Hey, fun fact, rape and trafficking are bad."
Yeah, it turns out. It would be pretty peachy keen if old Dwayne Johnson would come out with just like a Twitter post
Mm-hmm.
that was like by BT Dubs, Vince McMahon can eat shit, and I hope he gets hit by like a Tyson chicken truck
Yeah,
or
and
something.
then launched into the sun.
Yeah, that'd be groovy.
It'd be good.
So yeah, it does put us in kind of a weird spot. And the problem, the big Shyamalan style twist here is that we picked a guy who intentionally has a squeaky clean image.
Yeah,
And we
yeah.
figured that's a safe bet. He's a class act.
Mm-hmm.
Life will be good. And now it's because of that that we're in a weird spot.
It makes so. I was watching, um, Celebrity Jeopardy earlier.
Celebrity Jeopardy.
Celebrity Jeopardy. Um, and there was, and interestingly enough, one of the clues was, that the name of the memoir or whatever. Um, this author's future memoirs will likely not include Keanu Reeves.
Mm.
And then when they go to the contestants, the date pops up in the top left hand corner of the screen. It says recorded on October 11th, 2023, and that's when you learn that the answer or the question rather is who is Matthew Perry, uh,
Ah,
who, as we all know, oofed it.
yeah.
Um, we need to find an audio version of that little date up in the corner. Like,
Yeah.
can we go into all our Dwayne Johnson episodes and just have one of us periodically coming in, talking over the actual episode and just going,
Yeah.
"This was recorded on," and then the date.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, okay, well, let's fucking seize the moment. Folks, we did an entire season on Dwayne the Rock Johnson. Do we
Mm-hmm.
stand by it? The comedy side of it, yes. Do we stand by Dwayne in his movies? Not a bit.
Nah, not really. No.
Let's just get ahead of it, baby.
Yeah, don't stand by him. Um, what I do stand by is our yard lines for
Yes.
sex.
We came up with some really good shit in that season. So I'm
We
not going
can't.
to say don't go listen to it.
Yeah, just understand. We now in this household, we
Yeah.
don't stand Dwayne Johnson anymore.
Yeah.
If we ever did, now that I think of it,
Yeah.
I
I
mean, I
don't
think
think
I think we said some positive stuff about him at the time.
early on, and then we watched all of his movies.
Mm-hmm.
most of which were jungle themed,
A lot of jungle
and
stuff.
noticed a pattern, decided maybe the oeuvre isn't, artistically
Maybe it's
kind
not
of,
great.
yeah. Because
Luke,
I'll
it's
say this.
yeah.
Oh, I was just gonna add, having seen every single Tom Hanks movie, that's still a feather in my cap.
Mm-hmm.
I feel pretty good about the fact that I've seen every Tom Hanks movie ever. Uh Dwayne the Rock Johnson, that one feels like I got lead socks.
A little bit.
Like it's something I gotta like admit to.
And we won't repeat that problem next season. And yes, folks, we're announcing it. Hanksy Panksy Mel Gibson.
I was gonna say though, what if we picked someone who is deeply problematic to just get ahead of it? Just like
just just pick Kevin Sorbo.
Kevin Sorbo.
Yeah.
Yeah, raspberry sorbet. It's gonna happen. Hanksy Banksy raspberry sorbet.
Yes. Um, okay, Luke, it's bugging me. What's the stack of books behind you?
Oh, these?
Did you do this on purpose?
I did not, but
Okay,
I didn't
'cause-
see you there. Let me tell you about my stack of books. So
so
earlier, yeah,
can I describe it for our listeners? Because
yeah, yes, please.
Statistically, most people are not watching this.
Yeah,
And for good reason. This is just two white dudes talking to each other.
yeah,
In I would say attractive rooms.
yeah. I mean, yours looks better. I would say mine's pretty messy, as evidenced by the stack of books behind me.
Sure. So Luke has, let's see, it looks to be 5 to 6 old. Um, they're not leather bound, but they're that old, like kind of like Encyclopedia Britannica
Yep,
kind of binding
yep,
books.
yep, yep.
They're like a rusty red. Um, and they do look aged. I'm seeing
Yeah,
some worn spines. They do seem Luke, do you just have some encyclopedias?
I wish.
Okay.
No, what I have is better. Sam, let me tell you about my day.
Mm-hmm.
We've done so much, and it is only 2:37.
Mm-hmm.
But earlier this morning, we decided, so the Central Arkansas Library System, CALS,
Gals.
to its friends and family,
Mm-hmm. And
CALS
lovers.
in Lovers, was having a book sale, like a used
Mm-hmm.
book sale where you can get books for dirt cheap. And we were like, sign us up. Apparently, us and half of the fucking city decided to do this.
Okay.
It was packed.
Mm.
Uh, but what you see behind me is partial fruit of our labors.
Okay.
Um, I will say these books were listed, they were in the old and odd section.
Ooh, is it a medical textbook?
No, you'd think it
Okay.
would be more odd, but what I have behind me is the dateless, though they are very old, partial collected works of Charles Dickens.
Okay. That is interesting. Okay. What a fucking pull.
Yeah, because we were looking at these and we were like, that's a lot of Dickens right there.
That's a lot of dick.
Then we get it home and we're examining the amount of dick that we purchased.
Mm-hmm.
And what we purchased is volumes. It's a hodgepodge of 6 different volumes of a 25 volume set.
Fuck.
Dude wrote like he got paid by the word, which he did.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I was,
yeah.
funnily enough, I was reading an article earlier today about how Hemingway was paid $1 a word,
Whoa.
which in 2024 money would be $21 a word, which no one is paid. Apparently, no journalist makes anywhere above like $3 a word.
Yeah. And what's funny is that this is a guy who's famous for being laconic, for like minimizing the words he used, which he
Mm-hmm.
was it's really missing out on a cash cow kind of opportunity there.
Yeah, what a dipshit.
Yeah, I mean, for many reasons.
Mm-hmm.
Hemingway, not a like role model for Anything other than growing a beard, I guess.
I know very. Didn't he have a bunch of cats though?
He he lived with a bunch of cats. Let's put it that way.
I think that's a role model.
Yeah, that's pretty good. If you okay, I take it back. If you're
If
looking to
if he
grow a
took
big,
good if he took good care of them,
he fed them, I think.
did he love them?
I don't think Hemingway loved anybody, my dude.
Did he scratch them?
I probably scratched him, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
I think we can support that.
Yeah, I mean, so I was just gonna say, if your goal in life is to grow a big bushy beard and live with a bunch of 6, 7, and 8-toed cats, uh, then yeah, Hemingway, he's your guy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, all his cats were polydactyl.
Yeah.
I've seen the Descendants in Key West. You can go to his house
Mm-hmm.
and see these cats got too many digis.
Too many.
They're very cute because they have huge paws because they got too many digis.
I mean, they would have to.
Yeah, you can't. It turns out the answer is not like smaller toes; it's just
Mm-hmm.
bigger feet.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. Anyway, that's what's behind me is a kind of a distressingly little amount of the collected works of Charles Dickens that we got for. I think that was $10. The other like 10 books we got, it was like $5, my
Oh,
dude.
nice. Any
Yeah.
highlights from those?
Yeah, so I've been slowly collecting. I think I've talked about it on the podcast before, but I'm quite a Shakespeare buff.
Mm-hmm.
Used to do a Shakespeare book club with a friend of the podcast, Joe, which was awesome. And so I keep going to these book sales and finding No Fear Shakespeare.
Mm-hmm.
So I just buy them. So now I got King Lear.
No Fear Shakespeare King Lear.
Yeah, No Fear Shakespeare, King Lear, baby.
Okay.
Uh,
Nice.
and a Joe Nesbo book, Scandi Noir, The Snowman, which was famously made into a terrible movie.
Mm-hmm. But with a
Shout out,
great song.
yeah. Just, I was gonna say shout out to The Snowman if you want to watch, if you want me and Jackie to do a horror hut on that on the
Mm-hmm.
Patreon, maybe hit us up. But I don't know, man.
I mean, it does have, again, one of my favorite songs of all time, Popcorn by Hot Butter. Or Hot Butter by Popcorn. I legitimately don't remember what it is, but it, hey, is fun as hell.
Yeah. Oh, nothing like club bangers in a movie about a guy putting severed heads on top of snowmen.
Yeah, I don't really remember much else from the movie other than Popcorn by Hot Butter being played while a guy was like dancing in someone's apartment that he broke into.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sounds about right.
Hmm.
No stars, didn't enjoy his dancing, terrible movie.
1 star for the song.
1 star for the song. Came back, edited review several years later. On reflection, 1 star for the song.
Yeah.
um Fuck, dude. What were we even talking about?
I think we are contractually obligated to talk about our watch of 2018 Siberia, or as I wrote it, Cyberig.
Cyberig. Let's talk about Cyberig.
Mm-hmm.
Sam, how's your watch?
Exceedingly disrespectful. I
Yeah.
booted up Freevee, watched it with ads. I planned on writing down what all the ads were, and then I promptly threw that out the window. I did watch with my son, who fell asleep while I was holding him, and thus I dozed off twice. Um,
Respectable.
because a baby is essentially a heated weighted blanket.
Yeah.
And so that kid falls asleep on me, and it's the afternoon, I'm gone.
Yeah.
Uh, no chance. And so I will come clean right now. The movie did not make a lot of sense to me, but I have a sneaking suspicion that it's not because I dozed off twice.
It is not. Yeah,
Uh
I could, I bet you could take any two. How long do you reckon you were asleep?
Maybe 10 minutes. I don't think I was lucky enough to miss more.
Yeah, take any two 10-minute sections out of this movie. Doesn't make a difference, my
Mm-mm.
guy. Yeah.
How was your watch?
Let me tell you about my watch.
Uh-oh.
I went to Jeffrey Bezos's yacht
Mm-hmm.
and said, and he stopped weightlifting because I guess that's what he does now, because he
Hmm.
does look dieseled. Props where props are due. Jeffrey Bezos, evil megalomaniac.
Hmm.
He do got a diesel bod.
Good for
Uh,
him. Does he
Good
have
for him.
does he have cum gutters?
Probably.
Mm.
I haven't exactly like Googled shirtless Jeffrey Bezos.
Well, I know what I'm doing while you talk about your watch.
Yeah, so I go to Jeff Bezos. Please type in Jeffrey Bezos cum gutters and just see what happens.
So just for the record, I don't know if
Yeah,
that's coming through.
yeah, it is. You did type Jeffrey Bezos cum gutters.
Now, the top one does say, "No, thank you, Mr. Pecker. Something unusual happened to me, dot dot dot," from Medium, which
Hmm.
is interesting.
Interesting that Medium is popping up. Wait, Medium is playing in this space. Huh.
It is. Um, I'm seeing a lot of different people's cum gutters,
Yeah.
including I don't like this at all. So I'm gonna show it to you. It is a dieseled pig.
I don't like the diesel pig. Please make the diesel pig go away from my screen.
So you want the dieseled pig closer?
This is a bodybuilder, to describe it, because I'm forced to look at it. A
Mm-hmm.
bodybuilder's body, all dehydrated and popping,
Mm-hmm.
with an anthropomorphic pig head on top.
Someone is continues to do this on an AI image generator.
Yeah, it looks like AI. It's
Yeah,
like
it's
someone said, "Give me a diesel pig."
it's Mid Journey. It's
Yeah,
it's on r/Mid Journey.
isn't
Uh,
generative AI just amazing?
no, it's not.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
particularly like it. I'm gonna keep looking for Jeff Bezos's cum gutters. But tell me about your time on his yacht.
Yeah, so it was yacht and said, because I didn't realize it was on freebie, and nor did Jeffrey Bezos mention this. And I said, I would like to watch Cyberig. And he
Mm-hmm.
said, okay, here's 10 different versions of the movie,
Mm-hmm.
none of which you can buy or rent. My dude, I scrolled down twice before I hit a version of this movie that was said available to rent or, God forbid, buy.
God.
So
No.
I rented it. Might have watched it on freebie if I'd realized, but probably not. Um, what to say about my watch, my dude? Okay, here's how it went. I booted up the movie. I got about 10 minutes in. I went, oh no. And I looked up the plot on Wikipedia. And then I
Ooh,
said,
you know it's bad when you check the plot.
yeah. Okay, actually, it was 20 minutes because I went, surely we're gaining ground,
Mm-hmm.
right? Surely we're like making waves. It was 20 minutes in. I looked up the plot. I realized how fucked I was.
Mm-hmm.
And then I just, the rest went by in a grueling, at a grueling pace. That was my watch.
Mm. I will tell you, this is starting to confirm a theory that I have,
Okay.
which is when there are too many production companies involved in a movie.
Yes. This is the only thing I was going to say about this movie.
Yeah.
Because
The-
no
when there's
joke.
like when there's like more than three, it's not a good movie.
Yeah. We've noticed that with Tom Hanks movies.
Mm-hmm.
Because folks, usually it boots up and it's like roadshow pictures or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
like Groovy or Touchstone Entertainment. Maybe there's two or three.
Mm-hmm.
No, there were about 10.
Yeah.
And so it would roll. At first, it was like there's a lot of production companies because it would roll one, like,
Mm-hmm.
intro for the production company. Then would roll another. And by the fourth or fifth one, I was like, what is
It's,
happening?
it starts to feel like a parody.
Yeah, literally like it's the beginning of a stab movie from the Scream universe. It's like, oh my God. And they're ones you've never heard of. That's the other thing for this,
Oh
for your
yeah.
theory, Sam, which I think is 100% true. But especially if it's ones where you're like, I bet they made this movie. It didn't make a dime, and they immediately blipped out of existence.
Yeah, yeah. Snowstorm Pictures does not exist anymore.
Yeah, it is now like someone's passed through LLC. It's
Hmm.
like registered to their garage.
There you go.
Yeah.
But look, you know what doesn't have too many production companies?
Oh,
It's everyone's favorite game show. It's Lone, Leave, or Love.
hell yeah, brother.
Lone Leave or Love, of course, being the game show within a podcast in which I detail to Luke 3 of the 51 movies that I started between having my son and coming back to the podcast. And I either watched them by myself, I dipped out of them, or I watched them with the love of my wife, my wife.
Yeah.
My wife.
My wife.
So, Luke, the
My
three we
wife.
have today,
Yeah.
we have My Big Fat Greek Wedding 3,
Amazing.
In the Line of Fire,
Okay.
and Judas and the Black Messiah.
Okay, now talk to me about that last one.
Judas and the Black Messiah is a movie starring Daniel Kaluuya, who is playing Fred Hampton, the chair, I think, of the Black Panther Party of Illinois, who is a big civil rights figure, united a lot of disparate groups in Chicago to help provide social services and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It also co-stars Lakeith Stanfield, who plays Bill Withers, I want to say. I don't think that's right. Who joined the Black Panther Party, got close with Fred Hampton, and was an FBI informant. And then later, the FBI did assassinate Fred Hampton.
Damn.
Yes.
What
Spoiler alert.
spoilers for actual history, I'm
Yeah,
assuming.
actual events that happened back in the 60s.
Damn. We live in a country with a rich history, don't we?
That's a way to put it.
Yeah. Okay. So remind me, just right off the bat, what are the three again? So we
My
got
big
line.
my big
Yeah.
fat Greek wedding 3,
Yeah.
In the Line of Fire, and Judas and the Black Messiah. Do you need an explanation of In the Line of Fire?
Give me like a one sentence
Clint
synopsis.
Eastwood stars as a Secret Service agent who was unable to save JFK and is now dealing with threats from John Malkovich, who plans to assassinate the current president.
I like in my head, I liked the John Malkovich inclusion because I think it is actually John Malkovich
It probably
threatening
is.
Clint Eastwood. Malkovich. Okay. I am pretty sure I have a cheat code for one of these,
Okay.
which is My Big Fat Greek Wedding 3.
Mm-hmm.
I think you watched with Kenna because I'm pretty sure you texted our group chain with Sarah Hales Britton
Mm-hmm.
of Greased Lightning, the other podcast that we do, about it. So
Yes.
I'm pretty sure you watched that one together.
Okay.
I know it was consumed in your house. I believe it was done together. But
Okay.
so I'm gonna lock that one in.
Okay.
There's no way you bounced off that Black Messiah movie.
So you're saying that's Lone?
I think that's Lone.
Okay.
And then I feel like bouncing off a Clint Eastwood movie is like a given.
Okay.
Like, like what was that movie where he has a threesome? The Mule?
I believe, yes, that is the mule.
Yeah. Ain't nobody making it through that one. So that's my answer. I think you bounced off of the Clint Eastwood flick.
Mm-hmm.
You watched the Black Messiah movie as by yourself, and then My Big Fat Greek Wedding 3 as a love.
Okay. Ding, ding, ding.
Did I do it?
3 for 3, baby.
I'm like, I've batted 100% 2 weeks in a row. I'm gonna fail next week.
I don't know, because I think things start getting a little thin on the ground, but some of these may need to start being just leave or love.
Okay.
Um, I still have a couple in there for bonus points. Um, how far into In the Line of Fire did I get?
Were you watching it by yourself?
I was watching it by myself.
Hmm.
Now, for clarification, it is actually a phenomenal film.
Yeah.
Excellent movie. John Malkovich is great.
I'd believe it.
It's an early Clint Eastwood movie.
Early Clint Eastwood got famous for it's like Ted Nugent, man.
Hmm.
He's a shitbag. And I would be hard pressed to like anything he makes now, but sometimes you hear that early Nuge and you're like, yeah, I get it, man.
Yeah, this is before he yelled at an empty chair.
Yeah,
So,
exactly. So I'm thinking you actually made it pretty far and then
okay.
had to leave to do something else. I'm gonna guess like 45 minutes.
Sorry, you're wrong. It was 10 minutes.
That was gonna be my other guess.
It was 10 minutes. I put it on because I was like, I really want to watch this. It's a dad movie. This was like one of the first things that I watched after we got home, after my son was born. And very quickly, I was like, nope, this is not what I'm looking for.
Yeah.
And I quickly jumped to, I think actually, Extraction. Um, so I needed a different flavor of dad film.
Yeah, kind of a lateral step
Hmm.
genre wise. Yeah, damn. Well, I am so pleased that I got it right again.
Yeah,
Also, for the folks at home who are dying to know, how is my big fat Greek wedding 3?
utterly wretched.
Yeah, yeah,
One of the worst things I've seen. No one laughed in this house. No
yeah.
one. Not a
That
chuckle.
sucks. That sucks right there, man.
Yeah,
So
it was not a fun time.
so you can look forward to the palate cleanser when we watch my big fat Greek wedding 30 times.
Oh,
Um
I I would take my own life. I'm not even gonna lie to you. There's not a chance I could make it through that.
Yeah.
Luke, what's the plot of Cyber
Cyberig, here's the best I can do.
Mm-hmm.
Because this is literally how because I watched this one by myself last night. And Jackie came home and asked how what was the plot of the movie. Here's what I said.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Keanu Reeves is a blood diamond dealer who goes to Russia to sell some diamonds, and then the business deal goes bad. But there's also this woman he falls in love with, so it's kind of like a spy movie, but with rom-com pieces shoved into it.
Yeah, that's actually yeah.
Yeah.
That's that is very accurate.
Take a spy movie, cut it open
Mm-hmm.
like you're gonna roast it in the oven,
Like a tauntaun on Hoth.
like a tauntaun on Hoth, and then instead of Luke Skywalker, shove a rom-com in there.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's much like a tauntaun. It
It
doesn't
stinks.
it doesn't smell good.
so so what'd you think?
And I'm just gonna write down tauntaun really quick. Okay, so this movie, what was my word? This movie is um weird
Yeah.
because I can't say it's good or bad. I
Mm-hmm.
know which camp it falls into,
Mm-hmm.
and I haven't said weird so far. So I'm just gonna say this movie is deeply weird.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
what
Yeah.
do you think of this movie?
I'm gonna burn a simple one this time.
Yeah,
We're nearing the end, and so I
yeah,
feel like I can start burning some easy ones. This movie is dull.
yeah. I okay. Actually, that's a good point. We only have so many more to go.
Mm-hmm.
No, because this movie sucks. Is basically this movie is bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, this movie is weird, and this movie is very dull. Yeah.
So dull. And I genuinely don't understand like any of it.
No, well, what? How could you understand it? Because what's Keanu's motivation for doing anything in this movie?
He wants to sell special blue diamonds.
Yeah, but why?
Money? Question mark?
Question. I think the problem is that's as far as the script writers got. They were
Hmm.
like, I think it's two guys that wrote this, and they were like, well, he wants to go sell these diamonds, and then never questioned it any further. Because he has, like, at one point, there's the South African guy who's like,
Who comes out of nowhere,
who is
goes
shoehorned into this movie.
goes back to nowhere. And
Yeah.
then at the end of the movie, they dig him up and they're like, hey, you need to be here again.
Yeah.
But for like 30 seconds.
To warn Keanu, it's kind of amazing. um Where's the go to that? Yeah, he tells, so in that sequence at the end, he tells Keanu to leave town. Seems like a great idea.
It is weird that Keanu is really determined to stick around in St. Petersburg.
Yeah, hey, maybe leave this country that we don't have great relations with,
We don't.
and then retreat to a place that will never extradite you to this
Mhm.
other
Which is
country.
like any NATO country.
Yeah.
I don't know
And
if you know this. Europe is chock-a-block with those.
yeah, exactly. Just walk across the border.
Yeah, you're right. You're right there. I'm like, St. Petersburg is not deep into Russia by any
No,
measure. It's
no.
you could fucking swim to Estonia. I think
Yeah.
they're a NATO nation. I'm not positive.
Yeah. Finland is, around the corner. I
Mm-hmm.
think they're NATO. This is when we discover we don't know our
Uh-oh,
NATO
yeah.
countries. Um, we're just two dumb idiots. Hey, we tell people that up
Yeah.
front.
Yeah, no one comes here for NATO knowledge.
No. But yeah, so he doesn't leave because reasons, which is just everything you need to know about this movie. Like, there's the only thing I wanted to say about this, and then I literally have nothing else. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
hoping you got stuff in the hopper.
I got uh, two things.
Okay, cool. Then we'll talk about the other thing I want to talk about.
Okay.
Which is but basically the only thing I have to say about this movie is that, like, I spent the whole movie trying to figure out why he's married. Does that make sense? Not
Uh-huh.
like
Yeah.
why this guy is married, because people do that,
Mm-hmm.
but why, in the purposes of the plot, is he married?
It doesn't really make any sense, except unless
Unless,
they had a contract with Molly Ringwald where she had to show up for this movie.
yeah, that makes more. That's the maybe one of these 10 production companies.
And
It's
promised
like
her a role.
it's like her brother-in-law owns the company or something, and he's like, yeah, I'll totally make use of you, and then gets the script and realizes there's no Molly Ringwald opportunities.
Mhm.
Because he
What
spends
what if you Skype Keanu while he gives you a tour of his shitty hotel room in Siberia?
he shows you a Siberian toilet. I'm not kidding. That's a
Hmm.
scene in this movie, because he flips the thing around and it goes, this is the toilet. But because they have that kind of sweet moment where he's Skyping her.
Uh-huh.
Thanks, Skype, for your money. Speaking of Estonia, thanks. And then he spends the rest of the movie talking about how him having an affair with this woman is, like, kind of not a big deal.
Yeah, and like that kind of sweet Skype call ends so abruptly. Like
Yeah.
she's like, "Oh, cool, yeah," and he's like, "And this is that," and she's like, "All right, bye."
Yeah. It is exactly like someone had a contractual agreement to get her in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Skype came in and they were like, we're attached.
Yeah.
You got to get her in this movie or we're not giving you the $10 you asked for.
The plot critical scene where he uses Skype to show his estranged wife a Siberian toilet.
A Siberian blue. Yeah. Shit's fucked up, man. It's like someone said, let's make a movie. And
Mm-hmm.
then they, like, without thinking about any part of it, slap
Yeah.
together a movie. And Keanu is here.
And Keanu is here. Once again, making a bad choice and making us pay for it.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't know. What do you got to kind of say about cyber rig?
Um, what do you think about ties that have a flat bottom?
Ooh, like a as if someone has just cut it.
Like someone's cut it instead of the point that shows you where a person's penis is or
I t-
genitals in general.
or genitals in general. The genital pointer.
Mm-hmm.
A tie minus the genital pointer. I
Because
think.
because he wears one in this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it? I don't remember it. Is it quite wide?
No, it's a not super skinny, but I would say
Yeah.
narrower.
Yeah, because I think a narrow version of that can work,
Mm-hmm.
depending. I think a super wide version of that would
That's
one
that's
be
bonkers.
would be hilarious, and
Mm-hmm.
two would be a very bold statement.
You're saying something I don't know what it is, but
Yeah,
that's actually, Luke, what you've described as a bib.
it's not that big, but essentially, yeah.
You've described a skinny bib.
You know what? Fuck it. If you showed up to a business meeting wearing a bib and you're not about to eat lobster,
a formal bib.
what a power move.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I'm wearing a bib. Moving on. Let's get this Comcast deal
Do
ironed
you want to
out.
fight about it?
Because I think daring someone to stare at your super wide, flat bottom tie would be pretty incredible. As far as they don't teach you that in Harvard Business School, but I'm
No,
telling
no,
you,
no, no.
you do that, you're getting coffee for closers.
Yeah. No, look, if you show up to your big time business meeting and you're wearing a bib that says Daddy wants pie, you're closing that day. You are absolutely closing.
You're gonna merge with Spirit Airlines on that day, man.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna
Hell yeah.
happen.
That's not
Yeah.
getting blocked by the FTC.
Yeah, exactly. By one of our acronyms, one of our various
I
acronyms.
think I think it's the FTC that
I
does
think
that.
I think it's the FTC.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So generally speaking, you're okay with the flat end tie?
I think a really skinny one can work.
Okay.
I do think it is unorthodox,
Mm-hmm.
as far as people's fashion goes. But I think a guy like Keanu can make it work. Uh, Generally speaking, though, be careful. That's all I'm going to say about it.
Okay.
Yeah, just like before you wear it out to that big important business meeting or maybe that date that you've been coordinating for several
Mm-hmm.
weeks, just know it's either going to work or it's really not.
Yeah. And how are they gonna know where your genitals are?
Yeah, unless you hang a sign around,
Unless.
unless you hang a sign around your neck that has a huge arrow pointing wherever
Mm-hmm.
that says see below for genitals.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's helpful.
Yeah, or just get like one of those name tags
Mm-hmm.
and then
Hi, my name is Genitals.
scribble out the hi my name is,
Mm-hmm.
write genitals, and then just point.
I think that's a classic way to go.
Yeah, I think that'd get it done, and then you can wear the square tie, the
Yeah.
squared off tie, and you'll have no problems with
Mm-hmm.
your big date to Red Lobster.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Where interestingly, you will have to wear a bib.
you will wear a bib, which is that's a good point, buddy. It's gonna throw everything off in it because it's gonna cover the sign
Yeah.
and your big tie.
And what if you're wearing your bib tie and you go to it that says Daddy wants pie, and then you go to Red Lobster and you have to wear their bib over your bib,
That
and
also
so
says Daddy wants pie.
yeah, but it's in a different color, and so it's not quite as classy, and so your date
Yeah.
thinks that you're not as sophisticated as you are. It's a real fucking mess. Just don't go to Red Lobster
Don't go to
for
Red
for
Lobster.
only that reason.
Yeah, go to Applebee's, I think.
Hmm. Yeah.
Go to the
Applebee's.
bees. Go to the bees. Thank you for your money, Applebee's.
Applebee's, a restaurant famously staffed only by abandoned children.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's a daycare facility that also has alcohol.
Yes.
It's pretty American.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, anyway, thanks, Applebee's. We told you we'd find an organic way to plug you.
Don't know why you wanted us to tell people that all your employees are previously abandoned children, but whatever.
Oh, the bees.
Um, yeah, I've got my second thing.
Yeah, please.
Okay, so in this movie, Keanu Reeves gets the shit beaten out of him, and then he gets knocked out and wakes up in the soon-to-be love interest's house.
Yeah.
And so he wakes up in a strange home. I guess surmises how he got there and stuff. And
Yeah.
then decides to make French toast for
Yeah.
breakfast for her. And I think that's a fucking wild choice.
Okay.
Because French toast, like, you gotta rifle through someone's kitchen to get all the stuff for French toast.
That's true. That's extremely true.
You could make an omelet, and that's one trip to the fridge.
Yeah.
And that's easy. French toast, you looked everywhere. You hit the pantry. You hit the spice cabinet. You hit the fridge. You hit where they keep their fucking pots and pans and bowls, skillets. You hit everything in that kitchen.
Yeah.
They have no secrets from you anymore.
Not in the kitchen.
Mm-mm.
Not in the kitchen, they don't. If they've got weed hidden under the sink, you're going to know about it.
You know about it. And why? Why would you make French toast?
Yeah, here's what I'm confused by, because also folks that made Cyberig, thanks for making your movie. We clearly took all the right details out of it. Now let's dissect why we made French toast. Because French toast, I'm not saying it's crazy hard, but to get the proportions right and to do it well takes a little bit of skill.
Yeah, I mean it is a show-offy breakfast.
Yes, it's a little bit of a show-off breakfast. Unlike pancakes, where one of those unattended kids at the Applebee's can make flapjacks.
Sure. I mean, look at IHOP.
Yeah, look at IHOP. Those people also have abandoned children working there. And they ship stacks of those things. No, French toast, you got to get the proportions right on the spicing. And maybe you add like a little dash of vanilla, which to your point, you got to go hunting.
Vanilla is not an easy thing to find in a stranger's kitchen. I would know.
Okay.
Oh, I didn't want to explain it.
Okay. If you wake up in the middle of the night and you smell French toast, that's Sam, baby.
Sam's in your house.
So yeah, he's really playing with fire there, because I knew it wasn't going to happen, but it would have been amazing if she's down with this.
Yeah, she's absolutely fine.
She says, "What are you doing?" He says, "I'm making French toast." She's down to clown past that point. But he slaps it down on the table. She starts eating it. I really wanted her to be like, "This is shit. This is truly awful.
This is so terrible. Why did you use whole wheat bread? What the fuck?"
You picked completely the wrong bread for this.
This is that pumpernickel bread from Outback.
This is rye bread. This is straight up rye bread.
It's so bad. Why is there so much caraway in this?
So yeah, that's a good point. I hadn't considered that it was old Mr. Flat Tie really swung for the fences with that breakfast choice. Because also, what if she don't like French toast?
It's not for everyone.
Because you got to make a lot of it.
You do. Yeah, like you can't do 4 slices of French toast. No one has ever done that.
No, you're making at least 6, probably as many as you can.
Essentially, an entire Outback Steakhouse loaf of pumpernickel bread serving a French toast.
Yeah. And if she don't like it, also that's a lot of toast for two people.
Mm-hmm.
Oh wait, yeah, it's just
You could have made an omelet, and it's also a flex. A good
yeah,
omelet, that's impressive.
yeah, a good omelet takes some doing as well. Cut that bad boy in half. There's breakfast for two.
Mm-hmm.
Nice and tasty. Um Shit, dude.
Yeah. Well, that's all I had for this. What was the other thing you wanted to talk about?
Are we ready to move on from Cyber Rig
Well, to next week or just to another topic?
to a different topic?
Yeah. Oh yeah, 100%. I don't want to talk about this fucking thing anymore.
Good. Yeah, this movie sucks. It literally has 4.3 stars on Amazon. A place
That's too many.
notorious. Yes, but also a place notorious for giving 5 stars to terrible movies because the only people that review it are
Mhm.
people that showed up to watch it.
Right.
Yeah. So, we promised it. So let's fucking do it, my dude.
Hmm.
Game of Thrones.
Game of Thrones
Let's dig into the burning wreckage that
of the final
remains
season.
of the final season of Game of Thrones. Yeah,
Oh.
I think we can spend about 5 minutes on this.
I think we could probably do that.
Yeah.
What a fucking mess.
What a mess. Speaking of scripts where they didn't spend enough time kind of pondering it, or
Mhm.
maybe it's the inverse. Maybe they spent entirely too much time thinking about it.
Yeah, it really makes me wonder if the reason uh George's next book hasn't come out, because it would be the last one, isn't it?
Yeah, it's the finale.
Yeah, I think he had to rewrite the whole ending because I think they did the correct ending. I
Yeah.
think they did the ending that George told them that he was going to do.
Yeah.
And then George saw how much people fucking hate the ending because it is trash.
It's terrible.
It is very, very bad.
Yeah. So, spoilers for one of the worst endings ever,
Mm-hmm.
if not the worst ending ever in the history of media.
Yeah.
Uh Jon Snow gets it, everybody, right?
I don't think he oofs it.
No, like he wins the game.
Uh, mm, uh, and becomes like king.
Or something. I don't know. I blacked out after
Oh,
he
no, he kills Daenerys.
yeah, that's about where I blacked out.
Okay, yeah, so he kills Daenerys, and then I think, just goes back to the wall or something.
Okay.
No, the person who wins is Bran
Oh, yeah, that's right.
because he's a storyteller.
Yeah.
Which what a perfect encapsulation of our society that a mediocre, unqualified white guy gets the job when like 100 other people have worked vastly harder.
Including a badass lady with dragons.
Well, she is dead.
Yeah, but I mean, if we're rewriting it to give someone the crown who
Oh,
deserves
I
it,
see. Yeah.
like if we're gonna give someone the job who's better for it,
Mhm.
badass chick with dragons who went through kind of a lot in this show.
Yeah, I mean, ideally, you would nix the war crimes that she does.
Yeah,
That would be good. Or Sansa Stark is right there.
she's right there, folks.
She's right over there.
She's right there, isn't
And
she?
she also has gone on quite a journey.
She went through some shit.
Um, but no, it's not her. It's her brother who's good at telling stories,
Yeah. Yeah. You
which
know,
is weird.
lots of people are good at telling stories.
A lot of people are getting LeVar Burton, great at telling stories, great guy by all
Yeah.
accounts.
Yeah.
I I don't know that he should be like King Shit of Fuck Mountain.
Yeah. King Shit of Fuck Mountain is a lot of responsibility. Also, Clint Eastwood yelled at a chair. Pretty good storyteller.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Definitely shouldn't be King God of Shit
Absolutely not.
Mountain.
Absolutely not.
But Okay, the only thing I really wanted to say about this, but now I have a new idea that I think is worth discussing.
Mm-hmm.
So let me get through the first thing first.
Okay.
The thing that I love about the Game of Thrones ending is how it's like they Men in Blacked everybody, like they did the mind whammy
Mm-hmm.
thing on an entire, like a global population immediately. Because
Yes.
like me, a lot of people got to him killing Daenerys and being like, well, I blacked out. I don't know what happened beyond this point because
Mm-hmm.
that was so fucking stupid.
Yes.
So it's left itself in this like huge smoldering crater where before there were institutions. Like, I cannot, for those who weren't around like 5 years ago or
for,
whenever,
for our 4-year-old listeners.
for our 4-year-old listeners, if you weren't let's say around in the like late aughts when this thing started taking off, um if maybe you're slightly younger of a person, this thing was fucking huge.
Yeah, it was. I remember a lot of people talking about how it was probably going to be one of the last like big shows that kind of everybody watched.
Yeah, and I think that is true, but not
Mm-hmm.
because like it ended on good terms. I think it
No.
turfed it so hard that
Mm-hmm.
anybody who was pitching at that time and had their comp as game, like, oh, we're like Game of Thrones. Can you imagine showing up for your next pitch the day after that final episode?
We gotta restructure this real quick.
What are we like? Oh, the Sopranos.
Yeah, this is do you know the game of life? It's like that.
Yeah. But I don't know, man. I worked in an office environment towards the end of that show.
Hmm.
Literally everybody. It was like fucking sports. People would show up the next day and go, "What did you think of that?
Yeah.
Oh my god." And then it's like immediately overnight, everybody was like, "What? What is Game of Thrones? Don't remember it. Don't want to
Yeah.
think about it."
We had friends over to watch the finale. And
Yeah.
so we all watched it together, and then it was like someone had taken a shit on the floor.
Yeah.
Because we all just kind of were like, all right, time to go.
Someone opened a Tauntaun in the kitchen.
Hmm.
Uh but here's my thought that I think we can maybe launch off of this for a little bit.
Hmm.
I think there's a creative lesson involved here. And I
Hmm.
think it goes back to True Blood.
Uh-huh.
So stick with me here.
Okay.
Because I think the problem with Game of Thrones isn't that they pulled a cyber rig and they didn't think about it enough.
Hmm.
I think they way overthought it and stayed kind of conservative.
Oh, you
Uh,
think they should have gotten weirder with it?
I think, like you said last time about True Blood always swung for the fences.
Yeah.
They never hit them.
Not once.
But the fact that they tried made that show rip.
Yes. So you think that Game of Thrones should have just gone balls to the fucking wall like there's a secret dragon congress.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Or like,
Okay.
here's what I genuinely hoped would happen with Game of Thrones. I genuinely hoped that someone would get it, and get the the big crown and the throne and all that, the
Hmm.
Iron Throne, and then convert it to a democracy. No one would have seen that coming.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And like a real good democracy too.
Yeah.
Not like an American one, but
No.
a real one.
Yeah. So now that I got the throne, I'm thinking we do democracy. Great, popular vote. No, no, that's where you're wrong. We're gonna do electoral college.
So here's how it works. Uh you know how the South doesn't have many people in it? Uh-huh. That has too many electoral votes.
Yeah.
Um and you know how the North has a lot of people living in it? Uh-huh. It has somehow less electoral votes.
Yeah.
Um So it doesn't matter if more people vote for one person if that person carries a bunch of fucking flyover regions of
Yeah.
Westeros. They get it.
All those people living on the west coast of Westeros, they're only gonna get like 7 of these points
Mm-hmm.
that we're talking about.
And they're like, well, why don't you just count all the fucking votes and see who wins? No.
Yeah.
See that way bigots don't get to do what they want to do.
Yeah, that's no good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we gotta empower bigots
God,
on this
that
one.
would be the pro move, is to give the illusion of democracy.
Mm-hmm.
It's sort of a self-fueled illusion of democracy, uh where a political party cannot have won a popular vote for decades,
Mm-hmm.
and somehow still succeed. So
Yeah. Wonder what that would look like.
I wonder what that would look like in Westeros.
Uh-huh.
um yeah, for sure.
Yeah. You would think that there would like be a massive outcry for change. And that people would actually like, I don't know, do something about it. Like
Yeah,
especially if the people who keep winning the popular vote but losing the actual like seat of power, you would think that if they actually like gain power,
yeah,
that they would like do something about that.
let's say total power, like they have the
Mm-hmm.
throne and the
The
dragon council.
the Dragon Council and we all know it's a bicameral legislature
Yeah, of course.
In Westeros.
In Westeros,
Yeah,
obviously.
so you have the Drenet, and that's the upper house.
Yeah,
And then you have the House of Wet Representatives.
yeah, yeah,
And that's the people from the Iron Islands, of course. Um, and yeah, so you would think that if the people who win the popular vote but don't always get the chair,
yeah.
that if they had the Drenet, the House of Wet
The wet
Representatives,
representatives.
and the Iron Throne, that they would change it.
Yeah, they'd fix
So
it like
so it's
immediately.
mhm.
Like immediately.
Mhm. So it's just whoever more people in Westeros want to be on the Iron Throne is who ends up being on the Iron Throne.
Yeah.
Because obviously they've progressed technologically due to democracy to the point where they have electronic voting.
I mean, they got fucking blood magic. Surely somebody can like whip up, figure out a way to just count to a really big number.
You would think so.
Twice. You just got to count to a really big number twice
2 times.
and then compare them. That's all
Mm-hmm.
we're at. It's not
Which is
rocket
the bigger
science.
number?
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, that's all I really have to say about Game of Thrones, is that it should be
Yeah,
True Blood, basically.
it really should be True Blood. Luke, how about some mail time?
Oh,
Yep.
I would love some mail time.
So this email comes to us from Tuck,
Mm-hmm.
and the subject line is "We demand reparations."
Uh-oh.
Tuck writes, "I was scrolling through my newsfeed today when I came across something extremely interesting. The article was titled "Dungeons and Dragons Ruins Lives in Tom Hanks's First Lead Role." Excuse me? No, that can't be. I'm the original Hanks's hero. I know all of Tom Hanks's roles. I know how they all intertwine. I know about Atar. And I know that season 1 of Hanksy Panksy started with Splash, where we learned that Tom Hanks can only get it on with fish, not human women. And I have
Yeah.
never heard of Tom Hanks playing Dungeons and Dragons. So you can imagine my surprise to learn that Tom Hanks's first lead role hasn't been covered by this podcast.
Tuck, you found our dirty little secret, didn't you?
Now, I know your rules generally don't require made for TV movies, but in this case, since it's his first lead role, I
Yeah.
think we deserve an exception. Therefore, it is my solemn duty as a hero of Hank himself to politely but adamantly demand reparations to be made to Hanks's heroes, to all of your fans, domestic and abroad, and to Tom Hanks himself by watching Mazes and Monsters starring Tom Hanks. Signed, Hanks's hero, Tuck.
All right, Tuck, here's the problem.
Mm.
Let me tell you the struggle with this movie.
Mm-hmm.
We're aware of it.
Mm-hmm.
It does not meet our rules, but we do want to watch it. The problem is, I think I've only been able to find it in German.
Yeah, where it's the name is exquisite.
Oh, the name is so good in German.
Let me look up on the site that I normally use.
Yeah.
Okay.
We do want to watch this movie. We will cover it at some point. There's another one, full disclosure. Yeah, what's up, Sam?
It's free on Peacock.
It's free on Peak. That's
It's
new.
It's free on Peacock, my guy.
That's a new one.
Yeah.
Well, shit, dude.
We might have to watch Maze. It's free on a lot of stuff. Tubi, Crackle, Popcorn Flicks, Pluto, FilmRise, Plex.
It's all the like little guys orbiting the big streamers.
Roku.
Nice.
It's free on Redbox.
Yeah, all right. But I just wanted to say, full disclosure, there's another movie where he plays a serial killer.
It's something like that, yeah.
Or no, he's just in it. He's barely in it, but there is a serial killer. We've been meaning to watch that one for Halloween for like 3 years now.
Yeah.
And we just keep waiting until that rolls around and then we forget. So but he's barely in that one. So anyway. Yeah, I don't know, Sam. Next week, you want to do it? I feel like a dip back into the Hanks pool could be really refreshing.
Well, let me just check what we've got next for Keanu.
Yeah, okay. All that to say, Tuck, you're totally right. We've known about this. It's our fault. We'll own that error and we will take care of this.
So let me put it to you this way. We can either do Destination Wedding, which is Keanu Reeves and Winona Ryder, or we can do Mazes and Monsters. And this is a weird situation where you and I actually have the actually, I don't think we've ever had this opportunity where you and I get to pick what we watch next.
Yeah. Okay. Well, the only thing that movie has going for it is Winona Ryder, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, at this point, Keanu Reeves being in a movie is, in my opinion, and this is a bit of a sneak peek at our review of the season that we'll do after, a negative.
It's a big red flag. I'll put it that way. That's a maybe read about it first. Is it about him putting letters in a mailbox that travels through time? No. I don't know, man.
Yeah, probably no good. I say let's go back to Tom Hanks.
Let's fix the fucking problem.
Let's fix it. Let's go back in time.
Yeah.
And right our wrongs.
Genuinely though, didn't realize it had crossed the membrane into all these free fucking streaming services. Or we would have done this earlier. I thought we could only find it in German, the title of which is fantastic.
Yeah, what is it in German? Mazes and Monsters. German.
Yeah, Sam's gonna dig. It's worth it if we can only find it.
Surely it's not Labyrinth der Monsters.
It is, in fact, that.
Yeah. Labyrinth der Monster.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
I mean, it's not as good as I remembered.
Yeah.
Well, folks, sounds like next week we'll be watching 1982's.
Oh, yeah.
Mazes and Monsters.
Next week, I gotta find the old intro. That'll be fun.
Oh yeah, and I gotta find my intro.
Yeah, we gotta find the musical cue and the actual spoken intro. Oh, I'm really excited, my dude.
And you know what I gotta do?
What's that?
I gotta dust off my old pin board.
Yeah, you gotta break out the conspiracy corner again.
Because I think there's probably gonna be something here. If there are monsters, I think we know who's going to be around.
I think
Lurking.
we do. Yeah, absolutely. Fuck yeah.
Hell
I'm
yeah.
super excited.
Well, folks, until then, thanks for listening to another episode of Hanksy Panksy. You can find us on Facebook at Hanksy Panksy Podcast. You can find us on Instagram at Hanksy Panksy Pod. You can find us on Blue Sky at Hanksy Panksy. You can send us an email at hanksypanksypod@gmail.com. Or you can join us over on Patreon. We got a Patreon, patreon.com/HanksyPanksy. Got a lot of fun stuff over there. Ken and I recorded a video of us playing the Oregon Trail 5. And so we're hoping to make some time to play a different game. So we'll be doing some of that. And you check us enough money, you can be one of Hanks's heroes like Tuck and Daniel.
Yeah.
And fellas, I'll break into your house and make some French toast.
Exactly what I was gonna say.
Yeah. Luke, do you have a final quote?
I do. It's said by Keanu, and it is fucking Piotr.
Yeah. That's how we all feel.
Yeah.
Well, folks, thanks for listening to another episode of Hanksy Panksy Honor Among Reeves. We'll be back next week with 1982's Mazes and Monsters.